Hey everyone, Winaway here. I want to talk about artifacts for a bit. This will cover you till you are adventure rank 40. Later on I'll make another video to cover endgame artifacts though, so stay tuned for that one. Now as you know, artifacts come with one main stat and up to 4 substats. Main stats are, as you can see over on the table right here. Till you are adventure rank 40, you won't be farming any artifacts, as it really is a waste of resin. You'll want to farm character, weapon and talent essential materials instead from domains and world bosses. Since this video is supposed to be a straightforward guide, and as I will get into much more detail in the feature endgame artifacts video, I will simply tell you what you need to do as a sub AR40 player. Let's first tackle in which order you'll want to enhance your artifacts. You will first want to go for any Sense, Goblet and Circlet. Then you want to upgrade your Feather. And finally, you leave your Flower for last, as you'll get less damage from it overall given the single HP main stats compared to, say, a Goblet with great main and substat rolls. As you can see on the yellow table right under, main stats come in different ratios. So say you got X% of crit rate on your circlet as the main stat, such as we have here. If that were to be an equivalent crit damage roll instead, it would have ended up being 2X% crit damage. Let me show you what I mean. As you can see, this is a +0 purple artifact with crit rate main stat 4.2%. This is an equivalent crit damage one, it's 8.4%, it's twice the amount. You can see the rest of the ratios on this table here. You can also see some level 20 artifact comparisons on the right side. Now, unless you're very specifically going for a physical build, which in my opinion you shouldn't, as elemental fares much better in Spiral Abyss, then the go-to stats are attack percentage and elemental damage percentage. You don't want to go crit rate or crit damage till much later, as you'll need both to be quite high already before you start benefiting from them. You'd want at least 45 to 50% crit rate and about 100% crit damage before they're actually properly worth it. And that will be something to achieve later on with your 5-star artifacts, having great substat rolls, not early on with your passable blues or somewhat decent purples. If you don't even want to think at this stage, just make sure to use and enhance artifacts that have an attack stat main roll, but I'd say at least think a bit and use an elemental damage bonus Goblet. Now, a good reason as to why you would want to go elemental percentage Goblet is that you can't roll a substat that's the same as the main stat. Therefore, you can't have an attack percentage main and attack percentage substat artifact all in one. But you could have elemental percentage damage main and attack percentage sub. I mean, here I have flat, but you get the gist of it. You also can't roll elemental percentage damage as a substat, and that only makes it more precious. Now let's go into a tiny bit more detail. We've already decided that we'll go for attack percentage Sense, Circlet, and elemental percentage damage or attack percentage damage Goblet based on what we managed to find. Now I'm going to introduce you to another layer on top of all those and tell you to focus on purples over blues, which should be rather obvious, but you should also pay attention to the number of substats a +0 artifact starts with. Here's a table indicating what the max level of each rarity can be, as well as base number of substats. Every 4 levels, an artifact will unlock a new substat until it has a total of 4. As you can see, my +12 blue here has 4 substats. At that point, if it still can level up, which this blue by the way can't, because maximum is +12, the next time it's up by another 4 levels, it will upgrade one of the existing substats at random. So as you can see, my purple feather here already has 4 substats, and if I were to upgrade it to +12 from +8, it will boost one of these existing substats, and again at random once it's upgraded to +16, which is purple's maximum. Again, back to the table. As you can see, blues can either start with 1 or 2 substats in the beginning at level 0. This is a 1 substat example, this is a 2 substat example. But let's say you found a blue that you like to use, then please make sure that it starts with 2 good substats and not just 1, even if amazing substat. Same applies for purples, but this time you will want to go for 3 good substats in the beginning instead of 2, so unlike this one. Whereas 5-star gold artifacts can start with all 4 of their substats, which will already let you know of all of them, and if all of them are good, it will only get better from that point onward as you keep enhancing it. So there's absolutely no reason not to upgrade that artifact. And the reason for that is because the artifact will receive a total of 5 upgrades every 4 levels over the 20 total levels it will ever have. And if RNG is on your side, it could be 5 upgrades on the best substat it has altogether. The starting values of substats are also higher based on rarity, as you can see on the table below, as well as right here. Let's say a blue has 3.5% defense, whereas the gold has 6.6% defense at level 0. So usually 5-star artifacts tend to have 25% more value on their main stats and about 20% more value on their substats compared to 4-star artifacts. Both level 0 belong to the same set, same item, same main stats, and the gold one is, in this case, it's about 10% better than the purple. Once these are fully enhanced, the difference will indeed become around 25% for the main stat. But from the get-go, you're already losing 10%. Now, another point is that artifact sets can also provide nice passives and stats, usually in the form of bonus damage percent or attack percentage, or even unique utility or functions. But this will be our last priority, as you'll see in a second, till your AR40, because that's when really good game-changing sets start showing up. Therefore, the priority should be as follows: main stat over rarity, over substats, over base substat count, over set bonus. Also remember that a large chunk of the EXP that you've spent on enhancing these artifacts will get recycled when you infuse them into newer, better artifacts. As an example here, if I put a +0 purple artifact, that gives me 2520 XP, whereas if I put a +8, it will give this much, getting the artifact all the way to +6 level. So as long as you try to discover good rolls the way I've just described to you, you won't really be wasting much, if any, of the XP. And instead, you will actually likely end up with really good artifacts that will serve you well for a long time before you hit AR40. Alright everyone, that's been the video. Hope it was helpful, and best of luck with your rolls, and I'll see you next time.